going through all that post-traumatic stress information you just talked about, I know that that's part of the business that you have now. Well, I know personally because I went through a lot of the process. You're intensive, as you like to call it. What led you to that?
It's I've got a problem and a gift when it comes to solving complex problems, and I just love it. Right, I love finding really hard problems to solve.
So describe your business right there, real quick. Just
Our it goes back to really what caused a big seat to my post-traumatic stress was I joined the SEALs as odd as it would sound, out of love is the way I would describe it, right? A love of our country, a love of our way of life, a love of brotherhood, SEAL tradition, and very deep love of the SEAL standing next to me. And I have a huge heart to be able to sacrifice willing to sacrifice my life with no hesitation, to sacrifice my physical well-being for the love of our country, the love of my fellow SEAL. And yet to have that big of a heart, to have that big of a need to protect, but then have to use violence to do it, because violence is the opposite of love. And in order to do that, there's a big, almost a tearing of your soul, yourself, to be able to use violence to express your love. And I think that's what caused a lot of my stress. And so now my business is the opposite of that. Using violence, it causes separation, disconnection. And what we do now is bring connection. So we have a company that optimizes performance, primarily in the business space on teams, through enabling people to coordinate action better. And to me, that is the root of all success, right?
And I like what you say about that. Success is defined by how?
Success is an optimized daily experience that's sustainable over time. So if you can make your daily experience amazing, and you can make that sustainable over time, you're successful.
And the ability to coordinate action with others
is the only way to do it, right? As a human being, because we're fundamentally K people with fancy tools and nice clothes, a K person knows the only way to stay alive is to coordinate action with the tribe, to be connected. And so we feel success when we're connected. We feel success when we have the ability to coordinate action with others. And that's what we do, right? So primarily as a business, that's what we do, is coordinate action with others, or enable people to coordinate action with others on generally a pretty big level with teams. So within that business of creating optimized daily experience, creating success for companies, we did it through enabling people to coordinate action, both on a leadership and management level, all the way down to the bottom level. And what we found is when we would fix organizations, meaning get them structurally sound and get them coordinating action well, they would always plateau at a certain point. It didn't make any sense, right? There was nothing you could see that would cause that. And what I started to find was that the CEO, generally the CEO or the executive, any of the senior executives, their unresolved traumas were restricting the growth of their organizations all the time. And when I actually thought, well, okay, so they have unresolved traumas. Why do they have unresolved traumas? Trauma is any time you have a perception that you don't control your environment. Well, that's the life of a CEO, right? Is you don't control your environment, yet you have significant risk associated with not controlling your environment. So I started to look at entrepreneurship through the lens of a battlefield, like as a warrior, and it's the same. I mean, it's literally the same path. And in my own world, I had spent 10 years as a SEAL and 12 years building and running companies, and I had more trauma in my entrepreneurial life than I did in my SEAL life. I started applying the same principles that I used to get myself and some of my fellow SEALs out of post-traumatic stress, with entrepreneurship. And that's the second half of what we do, is be able to take a successful business owner and unrestrict them. It's like taking the restrictor plate off of their unresolved traumas, and then you see 2 to 5x growth within a year or two of their organizations. People ask me, what's the common trait for SEALs? And the common trait for SEALs is you got to be messed up in the head. Like, you can't be normal and choose to be a SEAL. And I've come to find that entrepreneurs are the same way, right? You can't be normal and choose this life, because it's hard. And
it's personal torture. You're literally nonstop, beating yourself up all the time.
And we got a bunch of successful business owners on this trip, but it takes this type of trip to allow us to have even a slight window of freedom to enjoy everything that we've spent our lives building, to be able to have this, because there's so many demands of our attention and time.
And this is the most exhausting freaking fun I've ever had in my life. I mean, and that's what's interesting about it. To me, to have fun out here, I have to exhaust myself.
Yeah.
You got to beat yourself up. You got to get up every single morning. You got to risk yourself out on a boat with people that are crazy as hell at the helm. You got to go to some place where you've got an animal that's very, very well known for killing people, amongst another animal that's very, very well known for killing people, and you're attempting to hunt to kill that. And then you got to go through the process.
Yeah, the bear's dinner.
Exactly. You got to cut that damn thing up, and then you got to pack it out as I'm dripping blood down my back in grizzly country.
Bear pops.
And I'm having a blast doing it. Yeah. Right.